please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Bill Carlos, second ward.
Ann Berger, third ward.
Michael Safone, fourth ward.
Stefan Krakauer, fifth ward.
Ann Schurshin, sixth ward.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Megan Clementi, Vandewater and Vandewater.
John Bailey, Town Supervisor. Welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. On tonight's agenda, item 1 is a public hearing on special districts. Item 2 is a public hearing on Schatz, 60 Fairview, 68 Fairview, an emergency order. Item 3 is a resolution for Schatz redevelopment. Item 4, authorizes supervisor sign cell tower leases with ACC Tower and SBA. 5 is a resolution for zoning map amendment for 200 Manchester Road. 6, set date for a public hearing on seasonal sales and local law. 7, waive TCO fees for Chabad Lubavitch expansion at 63 Vassar Road. 8, authorize Hudson Valley Animal Rescue Ride for Rescues fundraiser. 9, authorize a block party for Orchard Park. 10, authorize a block party for Valley View Road. 11, waive the 30-day liquor license for Gourmet Dining LLC. 12, waive a 30-day cannabis license, Duchess Roots LLC, 2615 South Road. 13, accept 2023 Town Board minutes. 14, set a date for a public hearing, Community Development Block Grant. 15, authorize a notification of delinquent charges to Dutchess County. 16, authorize a CPL contract for Spack Hill Pump Station. 17, a resolution Poughkeepsie Industrial Park. 18, authorize special consent 1. And special consent 1 is waive a 30-day liquor license for Kangaroo Cafe. With that, I'd like to make a motion to suspend rules for any item on the agenda except for public hearings.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody that would like to discuss any item that's not in the public hearing? Doreen?
Jay, thank you. So, Jay, I said, I know you said, not for a public hearing, but I have a question about number 2. About the Schatz Fairview emergency, can I ask a question?
You can ask now, Doreen, you can wait till the public hearing. It'll be open in a second. You can get to speak at that too.
Okay, all right. Then as far as the agenda for item number 3 for the Schatz redevelopment, and I guess it looks like they're asking for a pilot for that project, and I don't see anywhere in there where it says how much the estimated property tax abatement amount will be, basically the amount of the pilot that they're going to get. And also, I'd like to point out that I believe it was last year when they came before the town board, Councilman Krakauer said that he would give Schatz developers money to clean up the site. And I pointed out that they actually will get money to clean up the site. They're eligible for New York State tax credits under the Brownfield Cleanup Program, and they can get anywhere from 10 to 24% in property tax credit on the total value of the improvements on the site. So it's not just 10 to 24% on the cleanup costs, it's the total value of the improvements. So I think that needs to be taken into consideration when you're talking about the pilot. And especially here in the resolution, you talk about the cost of the cleanup and how they wouldn't be able to take this on if they didn't have public funding. Well, they are getting public funding in the form of the Brownfield Cleanup Program credits, and that's from New York State, so that is from taxpayers. So we're basically asking for a pilot and additional credits. I have to believe that they're going to be applying for the Brownfield cleanup credits. So that, again, needs to be taken into consideration. Because, all these costs just end up being passed on to the other taxpayers. And people, have said it before. I'm fortunate that I don't have to make a tough choice. But there are other people who have to choose between paying their taxes and, medication or food. And, it's not a stretch that happens to some people. So you really need to be careful about these things. And the town board has the ability to be granting this pilot, so you need to think about it. All right, that's it.
Thank you, Doreen. Is there anybody else? If not, motion to resume the rules?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to open
Yes,
pub.
look, Jay, you were rather quick. I'm so sorry, but this is an opportunity to speak to any agenda on the
Yes, it is.
on the list.
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. This is Michelle. I'm looking at the ACC Tower Sub LCC. That there are going to be multiple towers, again, placed somewhere along Cedar Avenue, although there didn't seem to be any specific address noted on the paperwork. And so, you know, that's a problem. If you're going to put up towers, we need to know what the address is. And I just want to let the public know that it is going to be over 900 megahertz that are going to be emitted from these antennas. And that signal strength is actually the signal strength that the National Toxicology Program report back in 2018 performed those same megahertz on lab animals who then developed lung and heart schwannomas. So we're going to be adding towers of more than 900 megahertz, and the public is not informed. The town, I know that in the paperwork there are all kinds of maneuvers in the paperwork to, arrange for the town to not hold any liability, and some mutual indemnification going on there in the paperwork. But truly, it is the town's responsibility to make sure that the residents are safe and not exposed to something that the industry, the telecommunications industry, refers to as pollutants. They actually refer to what these towers emit as pollutants in their own literature. And there's no insurance, and I've maintained this so many times before, there is no insurance that these telecoms or site developers can purchase that will protect the public from these pollutants. There is no insurance policy. Lloyd's of London does not offer any insurance policies. They don't like to get involved with it because they know it's high risk. So, I understand the town does not want to be left holding the bag, but truly, Jay, if you look at the major attorney that's already analyzed all of this, Harry V. Lehman, I think his name is, out in California, he said the Telecom Act of 1996 does hold the towns responsible, and that the telecoms are immune from liability. So, the town really has to tread very carefully. And if the industry calls these things hazardous substances, pollutants,
Michelle, can you wrap it up?
There is language in the paperwork that that talks about structural hazards, but there are substance hazards that go along with this. There are no as-built drawings.
Michelle, can you wrap it up?
There are no as-built drawings, and there should be Exhibit A, B, and C in the paperwork. It's missing, and they can't show the paperwork after the commitment date or the commencement date. They have to show it before. There are no site drawings. We want you to stop doing this. These permitted frequencies have already shown that they are carcinogens at the 900 megahertz level. The detuning, we appreciate.
Michelle, could you wrap it up,
but
please?
There's no study on converging signals and what this is doing with multiple antennas in this area. You're doing the people that live near Cedar
Michelle?
Avenue a disservice.
Michelle, it's been 5 minutes. Could you please wrap it
That's all
up?
I have to say. I hope the
Thank
public,
you.
I hope the public has heard me, and this American Tower was actually written in, like somebody's handwriting on the paperwork. I think that's rather, not professional. So thank you, Jay, for
Thank you.
allowing me to comment. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? No, motion to resume the rules?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to open public hearing number 1 is Town of Poughkeepsie adopting a special district assessment rules, which concerns water districts, sewer districts, drainage districts of the Town of Poughkeepsie. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody here to discuss the drainage, sewer, water districts? Come right up, sir. Come right up.
We're at the property of 27 Horizon Hill, and I was just curious, how is it going to affect us once the maintenance begins?
It's not gonna affect you. These sewer districts are districts that are already in place. We're not changing anything that's there already. There's no ongoing projects. This is something that somebody years ago in another county, never was notified of a major change. So the state makes us notified every year of the sewer districts. So there's no major projects going on anywhere in the town for any of these spots. The water and sewer districts are staying the same. The drainage districts, no major projects going on there either. Yeah. It's a little,
Yeah, there is a small portion on your tax bill. I mean, if you come to see me tomorrow, I can help you look it up in the book and we can kind of figure out where you're at. There, it is on your land tax bill, so if you brought in last year's, I can show you where those fees are. It's the smallest fees on your land tax bill.
yeah, there's no major changes this year. You're welcome. Is there anybody else? If not, make a motion to close this public hearing?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Carlos?
Resolution number 1. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on the 27th day of September 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt the special district assessment rule which concerns the water districts, sewer districts, and drainage districts of the Town of Poughkeepsie, and be it further enacted that the legal notice of a public hearing was posted on September 14, 2023, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on September 14, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. That brings us to public hearing number 2, Schatz, 60 Fairview, 60 to 78 Fairview. Make a motion to open that public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody here to discuss that public hearing? Chief, want to make a comment?
How's it on? Okay, there we go. I want to thank the town, the county, and everybody for their support. We've had 3 fires at that property since the 31st of August, August 31st, September 9th, and September 21st. As we all know, that could be an economical and an economical hazard there if that tends to go away with it being a super site and everything. I would like to thank everybody for their support and dealing with this. The town police and the sheriff's department have apprehended one person, which, thank God, now he's not let out on bail with the new bail reforms, because I really would not want to see what a going away party would be if they got back in there. But we're working on securing it tomorrow. I have a meeting with the county representatives for securing it tomorrow. So,
Thank you for your patience. You and your men did a great job, and we appreciate you keeping us informed of what you can and can't do. So, appreciate it.
yeah, and I'd like to thank my captain right here. He was eyes and ears inside that building, so.
And what we saw when we went out there that day, the fact that from one day of the fire to 2 days later, things that were moving around, so there's heavy activity in that building, right to, getting under the fences again already, so the fact that they did apprehend somebody with the cameras out there, they did a good job getting him off the streets, but who knows who else is still out there, so the building has to be secured, And the order we passed the other day, with the councilman and myself signing, was an emergency order to go and secure the building. And this was a public hearing to give the owner a chance to speak, but I do not see the owner present, or did not send anybody here, and he was notified to come to this hearing. So as we all know, this has been an issue. We're hoping to move on from this in the next few months, but we want to secure the building now before we have any further issues.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any further questions on this?
Doreen?
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 So the town will take the steps to secure it. The county or the property owner or the developer will be then covering the town's expenses,
We'll be working with the county to cover the expenses.
guaranteed.
We were working with the county. They haven't signed anything yet. We are working with the county to cover it. The order has been signed already by the councilman to secure it. To what extent we secure it, we will secure it. The county, we have to make sure that we are going to be made whole.
But they haven't done that yet.
Not yet, no.
And they want this really badly, and that,
The town has to take it over because we
no,
have
I
the
understand
emergency
that,
order.
but the county wants this, and that should be, they should be stepping forward.
They have. We've met with the county. We've measured out everything that has to be done down there. It is a process that is moving, you know. We met with them. We've talked about just the route that we have to take to do this, to get it done properly.
It's not a large amount of fencing that we're actually talking about. It's actually the doorways going in and certain buildings and areas so they can't gain access to the buildings at this point.
Do we have an idea of the cost?
Now at this point, they keep trying to cut it down and make it easier because they did fence the whole back end when they just did the urban trail. So that is fenced in, so they're looking at routes to make that more secure. And the fact that Verizon is there, you can get into the Verizon building because they open up in the back to discuss with Verizon, which we're trying to reach out to today. So it will get done, and we just have to make sure we're gonna get covered for it.
Excuse me.
Just a question.
Jay?
Doreen?
Yeah, Ed had said I couldn't unmute myself,
That's
but
okay.
now I guess you can hear me.
Yep.
So can I go now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. I guess that's sort of what Stefan just talked about is what I was asking, because one of the paragraphs there says, be it resolved, that the town would do the work if necessary. But then the next, be it further resolved, said that if the work was performed by the county, the supervisor, you, Jay, would negotiate with the county for a contract. So that was a little confusing to me as to who was going to be paying for this.
Yeah, Doreen, we're gonna work with the county because it's technically still the owner's property. The county doesn't have the authority to go on to do it, but the county understands the importance of doing it. So that's why it's a little misconstrued. They're gonna work with us to secure the property because as like the next resolution is there, you know, the Schatz redevelopment is to be the next piece of going on, and we don't want to see that destroyed by somebody burning it or everything else that's around there. Realize we had 3 fires already, that the colleges and schools, we want to make sure it's done and it's secured. But you're right, it is a little misconstrued because we have to do it under the town, Unsafe Buildings Act and secure it, where the county can't do that yet. And to find the owner, we can't find the owner, but the county is willing to work with us on the cost of it.
Do we know what caused the
Okay.
fires? Were they set?
They were set.
They were
pulled
set,
the guy.
Council.
They
So
pulled
there
him.
are,
Yes, there
those
are.
are open criminal investigations.
Well, they did make one arrest, but we don't know if other people are going in there still setting fires.
That paragraph doesn't, be it further resolved that in the event the work is to be performed by Dutchess County, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie hereby authorizes the supervisor to negotiate terms with the county for a vendor contract with the county for the reimbursement of the work performed securing the property. I don't really know what that says.
Is the county's gonna work with us on paying us to secure the property.
I met with the county executive.
No, I know,
as well,
but
so-
that paragraph is clear as mud, to use it.
Well, isn't it, the fact is, we need to get it secured ASAP,
Yes.
right? And that's the highest priority before something
If
terrible.
somebody set a fire in there and it got hot enough with all the contamination that's on the ground, you could have a plume of smoke that's poisonous and knock out the whole community, the hospitals, the colleges, and all the residents around there,
Right.
depending on which way it blows.
Sure.
And you have 2 hospitals down there. You have St. Francis, or Mid-Hudson Regional, and Vassar Hospital. So depending on which way the wind blows, we could be contaminating a lot of people.
You are correct.
Yeah, just so everybody understands, If it blows towards St. Francis Hospital and it's toxic, guess what has to happen? And who pays?
That's why we're gonna secure it ASAP.
That's securing it. Who pays?
Well, unfortunately, the owner is MIA and has been for years and years. So at this point, I think the priority is just to get it secured. And obviously, they've been working with the county executive, you know, it's in Mike's
Yeah.
ward, so he's been talking to them. And, you know, I'm not thrilled about paying the money out of our budget. However,
But the county is
it
going to
could
make us
be
whole.
a disaster if we don't
The bottom line
act
is,
swiftly.
this owner has not paid taxes in years. So we want to make sure we are going to get paid because we already levied a tax onto there. The owner's paying us back, so we're paying ourselves back.
Okay, so how are we gonna do that? On the tax bill?
We're going to work with a contract with the county to reimburse us for it. But non-tax bill is probably not the best route to go. So the county said they would work with us on helping us to reimburse it because they are working with the DEC and the EPA to take over the property in the very near future. It seems to be very close to the finish line, so they don't want to lose control of us there.
Jay, do we have an indication of when? That's a solution.
Early next year is when they should be taking it over. But as far as securing the property, the county had a fence design originally for when they take over the whole property, but they came back and they're redoing that design because some of the buildings are still there that don't need to be secured because there's still a couple of businesses on the north end of the property that they don't need to secure. So we went over that last week. They're looking at it. They're designing it. They're gonna go out to the same contractor that the county has to start getting prices for it and then get it secured as soon as possible so we don't end up in this same predicament again.
Okay, but who's holding the ball now? That's all gonna happen in the future.
Yeah.
Who's holding the liability ball for that mess now?
Right now, it's the owner who's
Who we haven't seen, hasn't paid taxes, and
in years. Yep.
so in other words, no one.
No, it's him. That's why we have to secure it. That's why we're securing an emergency order through the building department.
Okay.
If I might just suggest a clarification to, or an amendment to clarify that one paragraph that I don't disagree is a little
Convoluted?
muddy, would be to remove Dutchess County in the first sentence. And then, because that is really what the intent was behind it. That the work would be performed by the town board and then the supervisor would negotiate terms with the county for a vendor contract.
And we want to second that amendment?
Second.
I mean, make the motion in a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody got anything? Anybody else that would like to speak on this item?
Public hearing still open?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Edwards. I live in Ward 6, and I just had a couple of questions related to the SHOT site. It's been there for a long time, and as the supervisor says, has not, the owner has not been paying taxes. But there are business tenants in that building, and I wonder to whom they've been paying rent?
They were paying rent to the obsolete absentee landlord.
To the owner.
Yep.
But he's not been paying taxes for years and years, but he has been collecting rent for tenants in that space.
Correct.
And is it the town's belief that that owner is not available, or is that what the county has been saying, that they have been unable to reach the owner?
We have actually sent the owner for tonight's meeting. We've sent him notices to come here, and he has not shown up. He's been absent. Over the years, there were other businesses in those buildings that we had moved out. There was different operations in there, and he's never answered anything. We've tracked him down because it's through LLCs. I think they're over in New Windsor, and they don't answer anything, and we send them.
Yes, I think he lives in New Windsor,
Yeah.
and he's listed in the Hudson Valley Lawyers Guide. So he seems to live in the area, but, so you've written to him but haven't heard back?
Correct. We've written to him. The county has on tax liens, written to him numerous times. And again, this week, we wrote to him again.
Well, the county also has said that they're simply unable to find him. But he seems to live and do business in the area, so I'm just curious about how he manages to live in the area, do business in the area, and collect rent from these tenants, but seems to be unavailable to pay taxes for years and years on end. So, thank you for the clarifications.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes, seems to have be a problem that's lingered for a very long
Yeah,
time.
and he's buried in LLCs that are all bankrupt and not able to get through. But as you said, we all pretty much assume we know who the actual bottom owner is, but he's not answering anything. We've sent stuff out again to the New Windsor property the other day.
But he does have businesses on his property that have been paying him rent.
Well, there's actually a truck that pulls up every so often, takes money and goes, we don't know where it goes. So that's probably somebody that works for the owner, but, you know, you try to track down a truck
Yeah.
and see who you can catch every time of the day.
Right now, it's down to two businesses on there. Sarjo's is there and M&O Sanitation, and they're not connected to these buildings. They're in a little further north location, which is a safer, better location. They're not tied to those buildings, but they're the only two, and they're there. Sarjo's is all up to code, and they're all there legally, but as you said, they're not paying.
And this has been going on for a while.
Oh, quite a few years.
Yes, quite a few years.
So we've been-
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jay, just as a question. If the property is unsafe, dangerous, and presents, can the town, can the municipality close the property?
Yeah, that's what we signed the day. We signed the
So-
emergency order the other day.
He, the property owner, or them, or whatever it is, will not be able to get any money from the property.
Those
No
two-
rents, nothing.
Bill, the
No,
two
those two-
businesses that are there that are open are not what we will be securing because they are off to the north end of the property. They're not tied to those other buildings that have been vacant for 15+ years, 20+ years.
So, those buildings are safe. They don't represent a danger to any of us.
Correct.
And the owner of the property that does represent a danger to us is taking the rent from those ones there,
As far as we know.
as far as we know.
Yeah, I've never gone there and watched them take rent, but we assume they're not there for free. And he's just taking the rent, and he hasn't paid taxes for many years.
When I read this, getting ready for the meeting, I thought to myself, suppose I don't know if we can legally do it, set up an account and take that money and put it in the account, not let it go to the owner, to protect from the dangers of that place. In other words, there's no impetus for the owner to do a thing except take his money out of here. Can we do something like that?
I don't think we can.
Establish a fund, take his money and put it in the fund?
No, I don't think we can. The only one that can do something like that, Bill, is when somebody doesn't pay their taxes. We send the bill to the county makes us whole for the bill. The county wants to take this property, but they've been dealing with the DEC and the EPA for at least 5 years that I know of, that we went over to New Paltz, we met with them. They were gonna indemnify the county so they take this property over, and it's not quite there yet.
Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, the only one that can take the property for non-payment of taxes is the county. The town does not take property for non-payment of taxes.
Right.
The county
So even
does.
if we wanted to, the fact that they haven't paid the taxes we don't have the authority, it's not our responsibility.
It's the
That would be at the county level. So if there's a question as to why that property has sat so long without paying taxes, that would be something that a county legislature meeting should address. It's not something we can do. City of Poughkeepsie takes properties for taxes. I believe the cities have that authority
The
that's
cities
given to
aren't made
them.
whole from the county.
But cities can take properties for taxes. Towns do not.
Town can't.
We don't take the property for taxes, can't take it. So the unpaid taxes are not something that, regardless of what's going on there, who's paying rent, the town can't step in and say, we're gonna take the money because the taxes haven't been paid. And the county, because they take the taxes, they can take it for taxes and we don't, makes us whole with the unpaid taxes each year as we go along. So that responsibility lies at the next level of government.
Next level up.
Right.
There's nothing then we can do.
We're doing-
As far as the
The
unpaid
only thing we
taxes.
can do is make it safe right now.
Secure the building.
So, we're gonna take town money, we're gonna make the building safe. When do they pay it?
Yet to be determined.
Can we put it on their tax bill for the next?
Bill, we're working with the
We're
county.
working with the county to sign a
County's going to
contract with the county to work with us to do that.
Okay, so the county is gonna be the lead agency, not us.
No, we are the lead agency because the county doesn't have the authority. They do not own the property. We are the lead agency. We are working with the county because the county is working on taking this property, which they have for many years. The county is working with us to give us a contract so that they will reimburse us for securing the building. Because they're waiting for it to be released through the DEC and EPA because it's dirty.
And the taking of this property for taxes is complicated because of the contamination on the property.
Exactly.
So it's not a straightforward thing where the.
And if I was the owner, I'd let you have it, because
Right.
I get out from underneath the
Right,
liability. when
so it's not a
on the property.
straightforward thing where the
So,
county should have done.
I'm
a
not
long time ago.
necessarily in
I
favor
know,
of
but-
us taking the property.
Right, but
It's
they're-
gotta stay with the guy liable for it.
Oh, yeah, we're not taking the property.
Not taking it.
No,
Not
Bill,
securing
we're
it.
securing the buildings
We're
are
talking,
open.
there's a semantic difference here. We're talking about a fence.
Yes.
To secure
That's it.
the
We're
building.
securing the property.
Yep.
Period.
And
we-
It's still the guy's property.
We still
He's
have to
still
let him
holding
in
the-
if he
the
wants to get
wrench.
in the, if he wants to get in the property, we have to open the gate and let him in.
Right. The rent and the taxes are sort of red herring. It's veering off course of what the point is here.
This isn't supposed to be going on for that much longer anyways, because Kearney and Rupco are supposed to be taking over this property and starting to the redevelopment and the cleanup of it.
That is correct.
Which is supposed to be within the next year,
With
We'll open
early,
spring.
Nothing
or this
happens.
spring. So this is just a
Yeah.
temporary measure to keep it safe until they can take it over.
We don't want any other damage done, we don't want any disasters done.
Right, this just popped up, this whole
Yeah.
fire thing. I mean, this is,
Yep.
the development project's been in the
We
works
have
for a
been
while, and now
over-
the fire is taking precedent,
Yeah,
which it should.
Over years, we've cleaned out many companies that were in there, we've moved companies out, we've stopped companies from going in there. There's many different companies that had just moved in and started doing business in there with collecting no rent. So we've cleaned that, a lot of that up when Wayne was here, but this is the latest that's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Is there
All
anybody
right.
else? Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
And just be noted, nobody from Schatz 60 Fairview, 70 Fairview showed up to speak at the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Megan, quick question. You said you wanted us to add the word Dutchess County to here? Is that
My
Take it out.
suggestion was
Should be
to,
changed from Dutchess County to the town of Poughkeepsie.
Yes.
So it should read that in the event the work is performed by the town of Poughkeepsie, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie is hereby authorized.
Got it.
It does hereby, yeah.
Right, it's performed by the
Did
town.
we do that, or did
We're
we need
in,
to do it?
which-
I'm gonna read it right now.
Okay.
We didn't really.
I'm gonna shut this down. Alrighty. Resolution number 2. Whereas, that on September 20th, 2023, the town of Poughkeepsie building inspector and his designee, the captain of the Fairview Fire District, determined that the building and premises located at 60 Fairview Avenue, Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, New York, Dutchess County tax number 134-689-616209-227-572-0000, last known owner Hudson Valley Management Association, Inc., and the premises at 68-70 Fairview Avenue, Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, New York, Dutchess County tax number 134-689-6162-09-189-635-0000, last known owner, Lot 60 Realty Corp., collectively the premises, is unsafe, dangerous, and presents a clear and imminent danger to the general public and to life, safety, or health of persons and property in the town, in violation of Town Code 71. And whereas pursuant to the Town Code Chapter 71-12, the Town of Poughkeepsie Building Inspector did issue an order and notice requiring that the premises be made safe and secure, and the setting of a public hearing regarding the order and notice. And whereas an order and notice of public hearings has been served and posted, which order included a direction that following the public hearing on September 27th, 2023, the Town of Poughkeepsie Building Inspector would commence the necessary work on the premises to ensure that it is to be made safe and secure, including by fencing, with the owners being allowed conditional access to the fenced areas, and that all town expense relating to the work would be assessed against the premises and levied and collected in the same manner as provided in Chapter 71 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code. And whereas on September 22nd, 2023, the Town of Poughkeepsie determined that it was necessary to proceed more rapidly with the remediation pursuant to Town Code 71-12. And whereas said public hearing has been held this day, now therefore be it resolved that in the event the work has not been commenced or completed pursuant to Chapter 71 to make the premises safe and secure, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie authorizes and directs the building department to perform the work by town employees or by contractor consistent with Town Code 70-10, and to thereafter assess against the premises and levy and collect in the same manner as provided in Chapter 71 of the Town Code. Be it further resolved that in the event the work is to be performed by the Town of Poughkeepsie, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie hereby authorizes the supervisor to negotiate terms with Dutchess County for a vendor contract with the county for the reimbursement of the work performed securing the property. Be it further resolved that this work is an enforcement proceeding and therefore a Type 2 action, which is exempt from environmental review under 6 NYCRR 617.5. So moved.
Second.
The motion, any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Abstain.
With a nay?
Abstain.
Oh,
Neutral.
5, and 1 abstention.
Whereas the Carney Real Estate Development Group and RUPCO have formed a joint venture that is interested in redevelopment of former Schatz Barron Company property located at 6870 Fairview Avenue, town of Poughkeepsie. And whereas the joint venture intends to remediate and to redevelop the site with a mixed-use community that would include an anticipated 282 residential marketed to a mixed income level covering households earning 50, 60, and 70% and 110% of Dutchess County's AMI, and up to 29,000 square feet of commercial space in 2 renovated and 2 new buildings. And whereas the site has an extensive history of contamination and environmental hazards that have previously prevented its redevelopment and have resulted in the US EPA and New York State DEC to impose liens amounting to over $6.7 million. And whereas the prior owner of the site has not paid property taxes on the site for an extended period of time, resulting in Dutchess County securing a tax lien on the site amounting to over $12.6 million. And whereas in order to undertake the project, the joint venture anticipates that it will cost approximately $18 million to remediate the existing contamination, as well as secure the grounds and existing buildings. And whereas the environmental cleanup and redevelopment of the site envisioned by the joint venture will not be financially feasible without public financing and other financing approaches, such as entering into a payment in lieu of taxes pilot agreement with the town under New York private housing law. And whereas the joint venture has petitioned the town to amend the town zoning code and map in order to facilitate the project and enter into a pilot agreement under PFHL, and whereas the town board wishes to accept the petition for consideration as well as commence the review of the petition and project in accordance with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, to be resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie, does hereby accept the joint venture's petition to commence and review thereof in accordance with Article 14 of the town zoning code and PHFL. Be it further resolved that having reviewed a full environmental assessment form submitted by the joint venture concerning the action, the town board hereby classifies the action as a type 1 action under seeker. Be it further resolved, the town board wishes to serve as the lead agency under seeker in the review of the action and directs town staff to prepare and circulate all involved agencies the necessary materials, notifying the town board's intent. So moved.
Second.
We have motion second. Any further questions?
Yeah, well, somebody had mentioned earlier, I think, whether quoted me, misquoted me, or misunderstood me, that I said this is a project I would give money to. My point, I think, previously, and my point again, is this is a project that requires support of the developer, the county, the town, the community. It's a worthwhile project. It's cleaning up a property that needs to be cleaned up and it needs to be addressed. It's long overdue. There are times projects come in here and ask us for pilot agreements to subsidize apartments, market rate apartments that are just not, I'm not completely sure the benefit there. There's times where they come in to ask us to subsidize retail, which again, I don't know that we need more retail in the town, and I don't know that it should be tax dollars that should go to it. This project is long overdue. We have a developer that's taking a lot of risk, and the town should partner in something like this as much as it can and encourage this to happen. So that was my point before. That continues to be my point. I think it's a great project. When you look at it and you take away the brownfield or the contamination, it looks like a great project. When you add that part of it in and the fact that we can do something to help that happen, it's a fantastic idea, a fantastic project. I applaud the developer and the county and the town for all the efforts here. I can't wait for it to get done. I can't wait for that eyesore to be gone, the risk to the community and everything else to be gone. So that is my point. It's not a matter of throwing money to somebody that doesn't need it. It's a matter of supporting projects that we should support in our town and our community and doing things that make sense for everybody. I think the housing here will fit a definite need. The commercial development part of it will fit a need. And again, when you look at that project, if all they did was clean it up and leave it blank, it would be amazing, but they're gonna turn it into something where hopefully we'll all be proud of someday when that ribbon gets cut. And whether we're there to cut the ribbon or not, I just like the fact that we have a little piece of this puzzle, so.
In fact, it's the first project that we've had in a while that's actually truly affordable housing based on somebody's income level. So I think that is definitely something, on top of the cleaning up the mess that's been there for multiple years, and the amount of money that's going into this already through the DEC and the EPA, which is all our money, whether it's federal money, state money, this is all, taxpayer dollars that are going in to clean this up, so to finally move forward and get something cleaned up, and then actually get true affordable housing for people that, can't afford everything that's market rate. This is definitely something I'm, again, think is a positive for the town.
Well, in response to giving money from the county for a tax break, Supervisor Baisley and I met with the developers, and we told them that, hey, look, we are giving tax breaks, so we need a little more because the amount of money the town would have taken was not going to be that great. So we were able to carve out a couple extra parcels of the property and add townhomes that are going to be fully taxable. So we actually fought to get a little more back, and the developer agreed with us that he could make that happen, and we could make the town a little more tax money so we could benefit to everybody. So I appreciate that
Well-
Supervisor and Kay Carney worked with us on that.
Yeah, and even though this is receiving a pilot, it's also gonna be positive taxes because the owner of this property hasn't been paying any taxes. So it's county money, which is taxpayer money coming back to us. So here, we're gonna have new people actually paying in taxes, even though it's not 100%, it's something. So this will also have a positive effect.
And one of the other pieces that did get added to was the 2%. There wasn't a 2% in there originally, so there is an increase every year, which goes in line with what the state budget does now. So we are seeing a 2% yearly on that also. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the American Tower Company, ACC Tower Sub LLC, ACC, has proposed to allow the town of Poughkeepsie to locate town transmission equipment on its tower on Middle Bush Road in the town of Wappingers, and SBA 2012 TC Assets LLC, SBA, has proposed to allow the town to locate town transmission equipment on two of its towers located on town lands at Cedar Avenue and at Barnes Drive, and whereas ACC's proposal is for a 14-year term with 3 5-year extensions, 29 years total, at a cost of $1,000 per month, escalated at 4% per year, plus utilities, and a one-time $2,000 co-location fee with a $500 fee in the event a relocation, together with prorated common charges. And whereas SBA has proposed to allow the town to locate transmission facilities on its towers located on town property at Cedar Avenue and Barnes Drive at a cost of $1 per month per facility, with a COLA of 5% adjusted annually and a structure analysis fee. If necessary, now therefore be it resolved, the supervisors are authorized to execute the American Tower and SBA Cedar Avenue site leases in substantially the form annexed, and also execute the SBA lease for Barnes Drive when received, if it is in substantially the same form and on the same terms as the Cedar Avenue lease, and be it further resolved that because the execution of these agreements involve matters related to the ongoing administration of town affairs without the adoption of new priorities or other items which might cause a significant adverse environmental impact, no environmental review is required. So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any questions? What I will say is, the Cedar Avenue and Barnes Towers are two towers that are on our water towers already. So as you look at it, that's where dollar cost is. The other one is the town of Wappingers, located down behind Wappingers Town Hall. We needed all three to be able to send the signal out to hit the whole town. We didn't need this tower here because the other ones were close enough. So we co-located on those other three towers. And what this will do is upgrade our water system. So instead of going out and reading everybody's meters, they'll be able to read them from here. They'll be able to read if there's a high meter, a high level meter. An alarm will come up. It'll notify the water department that somebody's using a lot more water. We'll be able to call the homeowners up and be proactive. So if they have a leak or something else is not right, that we can address a lot of these issues. So overall, it should make the process easier. It'll be all here. We're no longer going door to door, checking meters and, doing all the radio reads from the road, which was better, but this will all be done in-house right here.
You're saying these towers are on top of the water?
Yeah,
Already,
we have
yeah.
a tower
Already.
on both our water. We have
Yeah.
towers on our water towers already, and they will be co-locating on those towers, because all those towers have, like Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, they're all on there, so they'll be co-locating on those. That's why it's only $1, because there are towers. The other tower is in Wappingers behind Town Hall, which they need to hit the southern end of the town off of. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the town board has received an application from Tinkelman Architecture, PLLC, requesting that the zoning for parcel numbers 626101 3425270000 located at 200 Manchester Road in the town of Poughkeepsie, and 626101 3615170000 located at 210 Manchester Road in the town of Poughkeepsie, consisting of approximately 3.1 acres, be changed from neighbor business and residential single-family 20,000 to residential multifamily, and whereas the proposed zoning map amendment is attached hereto and incorporated herein, and the town board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendment and does direct that said amendment be spread across the record as if in fact it had been read verbatim, and whereas the change of zone would involve 3 plus or minus 3.1 acres, and the action to amend the zoning map must be reviewed under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR, and whereas the town board has determined the proposed amendment must be referred to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development and to the Town Planning Board for review and recommendations, and whereas the town board has examined the SEQR regulations and has determined that the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, through its site plan review and approval authority under Chapter 210 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Zone Code, has extremely broad governmental powers to investigate the potential environmental effects associated with the application, and has the experience and capability necessary to conduct a thorough environmental assessment of the action, and whereas amending the zoning map requires a public hearing, now therefore be resolved. 1, the town board has determined that the action should be subject to a coordinated review because the proposed use of the property will, among other permits and approvals, require a site plan approval by the town planning board, and therefore the town board consents to the planning board acting as lead agency to coordinate the environmental review of the proposed action pursuant to Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, and 2, the town board refers this matter to Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for a recommendation pursuant to GML 239-M, and the town board refers this matter to the town planning board for an advisory report pursuant to the town code section 210-154, and 4, the town board hereby defers setting a public hearing on the proposed zoning map amendment until it has received a recommendation and determination of significance pursuant to SEQR from the planning board as lead agency. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Whereas the town board has received a recommendation from the Code Update Committee that a local law amending Chapter 76 and 210 relating to seasonal sales should be considered for adoption. Whereas the proposed local law is annexed hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein as if recited verbatim, the town board does direct that said local law be spread across the record as if it in fact had been read verbatim. Whereas this action to amend the town code is a Type 1 action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and Environmental Assessment Form EAF is annexed hereto. And whereas the town board has determined that the proposed code amendments must be referred to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Economic Development, to the town planning board for review and recommendation. And whereas the amendments require a public hearing, now therefore be resolved. 1, the town board hereby states that because only the town board can consider and adopt changes to the town code, that it is the only involved agency, and the board hereby declares that it is the lead agency for purposes of coordinating the environmental review of this matter pursuant to Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law. 2, the town board hereby sets a public hearing on the proposed local law for November 1st, 2023, 7 p.m., or soon thereafter as a matter may come to be heard in Town Hall, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. And 3, the town board refers this matter to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Economic Development for a recommendation pursuant to GML 239M. And 4, the town board refers this matter to the planning board for an advisory report pursuant to Town Code Section 210-154. And 5, the town board directs the town clerk to notify the town clerks of each of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML 239NN. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution number 7. Whereas Shabbat Lubavitch received a temporary certificate of occupancy, TCO, for their building expansion project at 63 Vassar Road in September 2022. And the applicant has already paid $2,250 in TCO fees as of May 23rd, 2023. And whereas over the summer, the applicant completed the final plantings and repaired a minor stormwater issue. The building is now ready for a final CO. And whereas both the applicant and the town experienced some delays in getting these final items completed and reviewed, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive half of the remaining $750 in TCO fees, $375 owed, and congratulates Shabbat Lubavitch on the completion of their building and expansion project. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions on that one?
Yeah, Rabbi Bornstein and the Shabbat does a lot in the community. He's very active. When he has community events, he doesn't ask for contributions. He does a lot of different things at the Galleria and different places around the town and around the community. I'd like to waive the entire fee. It's not a lot to the town of Poughkeepsie, but it's a lot for them. And they work hard to raise funds, and it's a not-for-profit, so my preference would be to waive the $750.
If we have a resolution in front of us, do we have to deal with that first?
Yeah,
And then
he's
or
re-
modify it? What do we
He's
do?
requesting to modify it.
Well, I'm asking if there's support to do that, because I think it would be a good thing. I think it's, like I said, they're very active in the community. They do a lot. They don't ask for anything when they're,
I understand that.
so yeah, we'd have,
Stefan, that's not my concern.
if there's
It's
support
how-
for it, then we'd make it.
Physically, how are we gonna do
He
it?
has to make
If there's
a motion.
support for it, then there'd be a motion to amend it. If there's not support, then we just vote on the motion.
Okay.
Is anybody in favor of Stefan's motion? To amend it?
I just don't want to open a can of
Worms.
worms here.
I don't know that we really, this is a specific situation where they had a temporary certificate of occupancy. It had to be extended, so they had to pay fees in connection with that. So it's not really opening up a big can of worms. It's a not-for-profit. They did a major project there. And if you drove by the property a few years ago and you drive by it now, it's night and day. They did a really nice job there.
I
This
just
is in
think
Red
that,
Oaks?
Yeah.
yeah, I just think, TCOs are there for a reason to get people to push and move along. And the very end, I understand there was a little glitch because, there was somebody out at the time, and did not get all the communications at the very end. So I understand splitting it. I'm not in a favor of taking away the whole $750.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of taking the whole thing away either. I'll leave it at the half.
All right.
All those in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes 6-0.
Be it resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie received an application for the Hudson Valley Animal Rescue Sanctuary to hold a Ride for Rescues fundraiser event at 9 Barnes Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, on Sunday, October 15, 2023, from 11 to 4 p.m. Be it further resolved that a certificate of liability insurance naming the town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured has been filed in the town clerk's office. And be it further resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for this event and does hereby waive all permit fees related to this fundraiser event pursuant to a request received by Celeste Wilsey, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second?
Need a motion second. Any questions on this one?
It's a very good organization. If you've been by there, it's pretty impressive what they built up there and what they do. I'd encourage people to either support this or just support them in general. I got my 2 kittens, Lenny and Freddie, from there. They're fantastic. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to go there, see what they do, and it is impressive, so.
I
It's
second that.
Barnes Drive, not Road, but that's okay.
And as Stefan just stated, it's a very good operation. It's grown into an affordable operation for some people when they get their pets to have some more.
They're having
done
a
out
fall
there.
festival this
Yeah.
Sunday as well, which I'm gonna be there to talk
And it's
about.
well-intended people doing really good things.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application submitted by Noreen Darragh to hold a block party on Orchard Park, Poughkeepsie, New York, on October 14th, 2023, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. with a rain date of October 15, 2023, and does hereby authorize the town of Poughkeepsie Police Department Traffic Division to close said street but allowing access for emergency vehicles from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are certain to be served. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Best of luck on your party.
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application submitted by Mark Masurgeon to hold a block party between 9 and 10 Valley View Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, on October 15th, 2023, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., and does hereby authorize the town of Poughkeepsie Police Department Traffic Division to close said road, but allowing access for emergency vehicles from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And be further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are to be served. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions?
Yeah, just on this one, last one, I love the fact that people do block parties. They like get together with their neighbors, and these are really nice things, so.
Gives you a chance for people moving in and changing, to really get to know who your neighbor is.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution number 11. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby acknowledge receipt of a request on behalf of Gourmet Dining LLC, 3399 North Road, Murray Student Center, Cornell Boathouse, Steel Plant, Tenney Stadium, and McCann Arena, Marist College, Poughkeepsie, New York, for a waiver of the 30-day review period for a liquor license application. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the town clerk's forwarding of a waiver and consent pursuant to the attached request. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any
Yeah, they don't serve alcohol at any of these facilities currently
No, and this is actually for catered events.
for catered events?
Yeah, you look at the waivers in there, they're catering establishments, so it's if they're having events, special events there. Yeah, there is none. They had a company that came in, they were covering for a college that was having work done. They came in for a permit not too long ago for events, and this may be part of that.
Okay. All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be resolved, the town board. Sorry.
Second time I've been skipped tonight.
Okay, go ahead.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby acknowledge receipt of a request on behalf of Duchess Roots LLC, 2615 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, for a waiver of the 30-day review period for an adult-use retail dispensary cannabis license application. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the town clerk's forwarding of a waiver and consent pursuant to the attached request. So moved.
I have a question.
We have a motion, we have a second? And then we ask a question.
Second.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Why are we granting this?
We're not.
What did he say?
This doesn't need, it's not
It's a
requesting
waiver of a 30-day review period for an adult-use retail dispensary cannabis.
Yes.
This is the first one, it's
Okay,
new?
why are
or-
we waiving this?
I don't think we should.
I don't think we should either.
If anything, we should extend it, not waive it.
So if we don't waive it, and basically, Felicia, am I correct? They just have to notify us, and this
Yeah,
just
they don't
doesn't
have
waive.
to, yeah, this is similar to a liquor license, this is what's gonna be going on with the same, you know.
This form doesn't ask for a waiver.
No.
It's notification. It allows you to extend the period of,
Yes.
Basically,
But it doesn't ask for a
this is just a
waiver.
notification, and if you wanna extend an opinion, they give you an email.
if anything, we
This is
should
just a
extend it.
notification,
but-
so it's.
So basically, they can do what they want. Other than our zoning department, there's nothing that can be done.
We've already decided to allow cannabis. in
I
this
know,
town,
I know.
And we've already
Bill,
voted on that.
If we vote no on this, it just does not give them the 30-day.
But it doesn't require a vote.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
require a vote.
Okay.
Not really, no.
It's like when we have a notice of claim. It doesn't require a vote. There's nothing in there that requires
Neither
it.
does the liquor licenses, really, I can just do it, but that's just the way.
I think
we've
they
always-
should be on the agenda for
Yeah.
notice so that
Yeah.
public has
We know.
notice.
So we're
But-
aware of this
but
is
the-
going on. But I mean, this is coming, it's gonna happen whether we do this or not, so.
They
Correct.
already
it
sell
doesn't
weed at every
require-
smoke shop on every corner anyway, and that's
And
the
the,
real
and the
problem.
30-day review
That is the
period,
real
they are
problem.
just applying now, so I don't think it makes a difference.
Right.
So,
Next.
all those in favor?
No,
No,
time
no,
out,
no,
time out.
no, hold on.
It doesn't require a vote.
I know, but we have to, table or do something. It's a resolution. So,
I'd make a motion that we remove it from the agenda.
Do we
Second.
have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Wait a minute, why are we
Nay.
removing
It
it from the
doesn't,
agenda?
it doesn't require a vote.
It doesn't?
It doesn't.
So why is it on our, why
It's
is it
not,
even in here?
it shouldn't be. It should just be on here for notification.
We notify.
We don't have a
Like a-
section that just has me read notifications, and I brought that up for
Yeah.
next year.
Right.
Okay.
We don't have.
So this,
we don't
like
have
moving
that.
forward, a liquor license
Yeah.
wouldn't be on here
Right.
anyway.
Felicia's
In
brought it
the,
up.
no, in the future, it would make sense to put it on for notification. And you say it's on for a notification for liquor license renewal for whatever property, so noted, and then you go on to the
And we
next.
don't
agenda.
vote on that either.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right,
We don't
Right.
have to vote on it.
But putting them on,
Consent
Some we don't have
but
to do.
putting them,
Right.
putting them on the agenda makes sense because otherwise the public doesn't get notification of a lot of these things.
Right.
And the board doesn't necessarily get notification
Right.
either. So
We did
putting them on
have-
the agenda makes sense. We don't vote on it. If we
Okay.
voted yes or no, it doesn't make a difference.
right, and so we've been voting on these liquor licenses for no
No.
apparent reason.
The
either.
liquor license, the waiver, you have to vote on because we're granting the waiver, correct?
But isn't this a waiver?
Not necessarily.
No, it's
I
not a
could- I
waiver.
could-
It's a
They're just
notification.
notifying
Yeah.
you. It's part
Yeah.
of the process.
Okay.
If you have a liquor license, which we had, where you have a business that is an issue, it notifies the board of their
Right.
chance to make comments,
Right.
which is
So,
positive.
so
That's-
yes,
Okay.
continue to put them on the town board
We want 'em put on the
agendas
end.
because it gives us notification. But we don't need a resolution to vote on
How
something
about if
that
we
we
put
don't
that in the
vote on.
rules, town board rules starting January, because to do it now kind of messes things up.
All
You're right,
right, whatever.
But I mean, I've talked to Jay about this already.
We've discussed this many times with that and the block parties and stuff like that, putting some of the stuff just
That's,
at the end
that
as
you vote on it, when
notifications.
really it should just be a notification by mail.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It would
All right,
save a
make
lot
it
of
easy.
time in reading,
Okay.
Yep.
And less things to read.
less things to
Yeah.
read.
You won't get skipped over. Yeah.
Okay.
So can we
Number
vote on this
13.
one tonight?
We just
Or you-
voted to do
To
nothing.
take it off?
Yes.
Take it off. Yeah.
All right, 13.
Who's doing 13?
Who's
I
next?
did 12.
And you could do another one since.
Oh,
it's-
right. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept the minutes for the following 2023 town board meetings to wit: July 5th, 2023, regular town board meeting; July 19th, 2023, regular town board meeting; August 2nd, 2023, regular town board meeting; August 16th, 2023, committee of the whole regular town board meeting. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby set the 18th day of October 2023 at 7 PM at Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the date, time, and place of a public hearing to consider and thereafter vote on acceptance of grant monies for certain improvements from the County of Dutchess through the Community Development Block Grant Program for the year 2024, of which the Town of Poughkeepsie is a member. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second, any questions?
Will we find out where we're gonna put the money?
Yes. Jan is working on it.
After we accept it.
We've done playgrounds before, and playgrounds don't seem to be the priority. So she's looking at, some handicap accessibility to some of our parks,
Good.
you know. And that's the only thing that gets us out of the
Do
actual.
we need to document that somehow in the resolution, or is just?
This is just saying we're gonna do it. We have to have a letter of intent, and we have to have a public hearing prior to it, which will be
Okay,
coming
as long
on
as
shortly.
we
This
have
is-
the public hearing, that's
Yep,
fine
this is
with
the
me.
first step. Yep. Can we vote on that?
Mike.
I'll do it, Mike.
Did you say,
Oh, I thought, did we vote on that?
I don't think you
We
voted.
We didn't vote on
Oh.
that.
All those in
no.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passes 6-0. Number
Whereas,
15.
whereas it appears that certain water and sewer rents, assessments, and charges due to various districts in the town of Poughkeepsie for properties within said districts have not been paid for more than 60 days and are liens against the said properties, and that notice of those delinquent charges, as detailed by the town's comptroller, will be forwarded to the county of Dutchess per town law, section 198(1)K and 3D by November 1, 2023. And whereas delinquent charges for property maintenance have also been so forwarded to the county of Dutchess pursuant to town code section 159, now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie hereby ratifies the notification of Dutchess County regarding delinquent water and sewer rents and charges and property maintenance charges, and requests that the amount stated as being in default be levied against properties liable therefore: water, $422,619.64, sewer, $266,068.01, other, $2,164.66, for a total of $690,852.31. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions? Just that this is a little higher than last year. Last year's was higher, but last year was up 2 years because of COVID. They didn't re-levy 1 year. So this is about $100,000 up over other years. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the town of Poughkeepsie has adopted resolutions in relation to the creation of the Arlington Sewer Improvement Area 2 regarding the construction of certain sewer improvements, including replacement of the existing Spack and Kill pump station pursuant to a DEC consent order at a maximum estimated cost of $7,334,000. And whereas the town has been advised that an WIIA grant of $1,521,568.15 is available through the Environmental Facility Corporation to reduce the cost of this project, and that the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation WQIP grant of $4,428,180 may also be available. And whereas in order to qualify for the Environmental Facilities Corporation funding for architectural and/or engineering services in the above project, the town issues a request for qualifications for them and thereafter evaluates each application received, and the intends to further pursue pursuant to Environmental Facilities Corporation regulations. And whereas the town made the determination pursuant to the Environmental Facilities Corporation regulations that CPL Architecture and Engineering is the most highly qualified candidate for architectural engineering services for the town of Poughkeepsie, the town therefore enter into contract negotiations with them as authorized by the resolutions dated May 24th, 2024. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute on behalf of the town a contract with CPL Architecture and Engineering for architectural engineering services for the town substantially in the form and as acceptable to the supervisor in consultation with the attorney to the town. And be further resolved that because the Sewer Improvement Area 2 project and the Hudson Heritage project have been each the subject of environmental review, with the sewer improvement area being a type 2 action and the Hudson Heritage project having been a type 1 action for which a filing statement has been adopted, no further secret review is required. So moved.
Second.
We got a motion second. Any questions?
There
Yeah,
can't be a
that's-
May 24, 2024
There-
resolution.
There isn't,
Just
it's
yet.
2023.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Also,
We can
the
Should've.
first number for the maximum estimated cost is not 7,334,000. It's 11,728,000.
That was the prior cost.
Mhm.
Yep.
What is
Oh
that
my
number again?
11,728.
11,728.
It's a $4 million difference?
Yeah, we've known that.
That's the price of construction going up. That's what happens
Yeah,
when you wait
That's
that
because
long.
it's taken-
You put projects off. This is what happens. They go up 7, 8, 10%.
When did we first try to do this?
About 4 years ago it started.
Okay.
Yeah. We had the project, as we said, over in Tucker Drive. It was a $450,000 project. By the time it got off the governor's desk with the grant, it was $900,000. So this is the cost of what happens when you wait and you prolong, and it takes a long time. The only blessing we have here is the fact that we have these 2 grants, and we had to interview these engineers due to any money that is now federally coming from the federal government. The process is you have to interview an engineer. It's good for 3 years. You have to go through the whole interview process, grade them all, and then that goes in with your documentation, so you had to do it. And we interviewed, originally, I think it was 7 engineers. We brought it down to 3, and then we interviewed the last 3 was myself, Jim, Mike Welty, and Megan assisted us with the scoring on those.
And that 11 million is in all of the bond paperwork that we just passed, so.
Yeah.
Shouldn't.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Whereas Poughkeepsie Industrial Park LLC has petitioned the town of Poughkeepsie for consent to form and file a transportation corporation to provide a sewer system for the receipt, collection, and transmission by pump, tank, and new pipelines of waste generated at its property and 4 other located near the intersection of Victory Lane and Dutchess Turnpike in the town of Poughkeepsie, And whereas Poughkeepsie Industrial Park LLC has submitted environmental assessment form dated September 6, 2023, Part 1, and September 22, 2023, Part 2 and 3. Whereas the town of Poughkeepsie conditionally consented to the formation of the corporation by resolution 96, number 14 of 2023, type the project as unlisted for seeker purposes, resolved to assume lead agency status for environmental review, the only involved agency, Dutchess County Department of Behavioral and Community Health, by email dated September 18, 2023, annexed here to, consent the town in doing so. Now therefore be resolved, based on the review and recommendation of the town engineer attorney for the town, the annexed negative declaration be and hereby is adopted. So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Just so you know, this is, the AP packaging, Dyson Racing, the town park, and there's one other Patterson Materials up there. This sewer, station has been failing for multiple years. When, Eastdale was going in, they were looking to redo this system, and we, requested not to redo the system because it just leaches into the creek. So by doing this, it will take anything that was leaching into the creek, it'll close that whole system down. They will be feeding through Eastdale and down to Arlington Sewer now, which is a much more updated facility. So it's, environmentally better for Wappingers Creek. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby grants special consent to the following items to wit. 1, waive a 30-day liquor license for Kangaroo Cafe. And be it further resolved that upon the objection of any member of the town board, item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 5-1.
All right, so this one, they're not actually asking for a waiver of the 30-day notice. They're just giving us standard notice of the 30-day advance notice period. So for this resolution, I would, correct? Am I correct on that?
This
Yeah.
came while I was
So I would
on
say, be
vacation,
resolved, the
so-
town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby acknowledge receipt of a notice of 30-day advance of liquor license application on behalf of Kangaroo Cafe LLC, 2001 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. Be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie is hereby
I think because
approves.
it says 30-day advance
Said
notice.
clerk's
on the
forward
form, is
of a
what
waiver
Yeah.
and
Legal
consent.
automatically puts it on.
Okay. So I would just, yeah, so we don't have, we're not approving a waiver of the
Okay.
30-day notice.
This is just a piece of
We're
information.
acknowledging
notice.
receipt.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So be resolved, the town board does
You can
hereby
vote it
acknowledge.
down, I'll
receipt-
send the letter.
Does
in.
hereby acknowledge the receipt of notice of the 30-day advance notice for liquor license for Kangaroo Cafe LLC, 2001 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
You're hired in the
Second.
legal
All those in
department.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. That brings us to the
I read this stuff.
end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for anything and ask everybody to please, limit their comments to 3 minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Doreen?
Who seconded your crazy?
Bill.
Doreen, can you, unmute yourself?
Yep, now I can. Again, it said I wasn't allowed to unmute. So, I still have some questions about the Schatz project, and unless I missed it in the package, I didn't see, the pilot information in there. So is this a 30-year pilot, and how much is it for?
It's a 30-year pilot, Doreen, and, as it says in here, this is going forward. There's nothing in writing in stone yet. There's, still going through the beginning process. I will get you the information of what I have so far. If you call me,
Okay, so yes, I'm interested in the estimated property tax abatement amount.
Yep. Just, email me, Doreen, and I'll dig it out and get it to you.
Sure, thanks. And, Mr. Krakauer, I just went back and I listened to the July 6, 2022 meeting. And you did say, I didn't misunderstand you, you did say, I'd contribute to get that site cleaned up.
Doreen, but
I'd
if you
be-
listen to what I said today,
I
I said
didn't-
regardless
I
of what I
didn't-
said, how you interpreted it, misinterpreted, or whatever, I
didn't
miscommunicated.
misinterpret that.
So you could
I
just
didn't
keep, okay, you could just keep pounding on away on what I said last year, the year before. And I'm telling you, it's a good project. It needs to be cleaned up. It should get our support. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Okay.
So I knew you would listen to it. That's why I stated what I stated the way I did. Because
Stefan,
maybe I didn't
okay,
say
you
it
didn't-
completely clearly, but my intention was, I think it's a good project. That's it, all right?
Okay,
Go
and my
ahead.
point,
Re-listen
and
to what
my
I just
point,
said and let me know what I said.
all right,
ahead,
Stefan,
Doreen.
I don't know why you have to be like that.
I'm
Okay,
just
so
not,
my-
I'm just saying what I said.
Stefan, can you let her
You
finish?
said I
Doreen, go ahead.
misunderstood and I didn't, but
All
let's
right.
go ahead. Okay,
Good.
so
Thank you, Doreen.
my point is they are getting money to clean up the site over and above what the pilot would be. So again, it's like 10 to 24% of the amount of the total project improvements. So, and the other thing is I do hope that this ends up really being some sort of affordable housing, because recently in Mid-Hudson News, there was something about an affordable housing project in Harrison, New York. Now I realize that's Westchester County. And they considered affordable housing a 2-bedroom apartment for $4,000 a month. So, so my concern is about affordable housing, that it's really affordable, and that just so everybody knows that they are getting money in addition to the pilot in tax credits that come from the state, that come from us as taxpayers, so we are giving them some money. Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen. Anybody else? Make a motion to resume the rules?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.